Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for time together with Upcychelly. My name is Mary, and today is We Got This Wednesday. So, a couple of things I always like to blip up for everyone to see is let me go ahead and stop that music. And I always like to just remind everybody it is pronounced Upsychelly, and it sounds like upcycling without the ng. So Upsychelly. And today we're going to be talking about clay. And the ingredients that I used for my clay were flour, oil, a dash of lemon, and I pretty much eyeball the amounts. There's a lot of flour, and then a little bit of water, and then some oil to keep it soft. And then, of course, the dash of lemon is to try to prevent it from going sour or bad. I read up a little bit more about the problems that I've been having with the mold, and I'm going to be talking to you about that in a little bit. Um, Tools that you will want to have on hand will be like a small brush, oil, your favorite mold. Also, we are going to be working on um, making paper rolls. So, paper rolls that you So on hand, you're going to want to have paper. You're going to want to have some type of glue or tape. There you go. So for our paper rolls, you're going to want to have paper, glue, or tape. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you are not on YouTube, if you could please go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button, that would be great. I really appreciate you. Also, if you are on LinkedIn or Facebook, please hit the follow button. Stop by, stay a while, say hello, interact, engage, read some posts. Usually we have upbeat, motivational posts to get you through the week. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started and take a look at our molds. Now, what had happened is just pretty much about the same thing that had happened with flour. Got her grumpy side out today. And it was basically where, we hadn't let her breathe for a little bit and she ended up developing like a mold in the bottom part of her. I grabbed that out and then I replaced it with fresh clay and then sealed it up, and everything's been fine since then. She does have a little bit of a crack, and whenever we have our whenever we take our acrylics back out, I'll go on ahead and I'll fix that. I don't know if you can see that. Minor imperfection, right? All right, so here we're going to take a look at, if you saw our video yesterday, we had gone ahead and we'd sprayed our clay that had developed mold on it with a little bit of vinegar. So I read today that if you're finding that it's just starting to take root, it should work. If you're thinking that it has already taken root, it may not work. And look right there, you can see it is not really going away. They did suggest that you could use some bleach. So I'm probably going to try and rinse out my vinegar and put some bleach in there, like a drop of bleach, and see how that works. So I'm just going to, for right now, why not? And then, of course, rinse off the clay before I add any bleach to it. Don't know if there can be some kind of like a chemical reaction. Look at that. It still has mold. Oh, look in the spots. Spray that down, put it back. And so that then tells me that these are probably, it's still kind of moldy. I think I had let these sit out too long like in the bag. I didn't put them back in the fridge like I should have. I left them out, just so it would be easier to handle. I didn't have to have them warm back up. So it's got like a little black spot on it. Now, I guess, I could say that it hasn't grown, so that's a positive. So what I am going to be doing with these trays after I'm done with this round is I'm going to let this finish drying for like about another 2 days. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wash it like maybe 3 rounds with soap and water, and then bleach, like a bleach rinse, and then again soap and water. And I read it was like 1 part bleach to 9 parts water. So let's go ahead and take a look at our leaves that we rolled yesterday. We rolled these leaves, and what I did afterwards, so I can get like a, what is that, like a little bit of a pattern back here, is I went ahead and I rolled that moist clay onto the table that has, like a pattern, if you can see it, onto the clay. It's not going to be a big deal because, again, this is all going to be, colored in black. Let's go on ahead and see if this comes off easily, which it does not. So it's probably going to crack off. And just remember, you can glue these things back together. It's always nice if they slide right off. This one is actually sliding off. It just needed to be jiggled a little bit. All right. So now it's off of the pen. Now, here's a couple of things that you can do. First of all, you can jump up and down for joy that this does not have any mold. It doesn't, and it's not going to develop mold on it because it's no longer wet, so this piece dried quickly. And if you remember, we also mixed vinegar into it when we were making it pliable again. So that may also be another trick that I use when I'm go to make my dough pliable, just so that we can avoid any problems. I'll go on ahead and I'll mix some vinegar with that. So this is the dough I did not mix vinegar with. Looks okay on the outside. This was still a bit moist yesterday, and it actually looks pretty good on the inside as well. And these are going to be my leaves. So again, another thing you can do is file down the outsides, maybe put a little bit more of like a dimension to it. And there again, they're going to be painted, so I can either use this side, and I could probably etch lines into it if I wanted to make it look like a leaf that's been rolled over that way. So that's pretty dry. It doesn't really need to stand anything that's going to make it keep its form. We have, I am also working on to keep these segments about 10 minutes long. So we are going to be cutting this at about 10 minutes. If I don't get over to our paper rolls today, then that's actually what we'll be working on tomorrow then. And here is another one of our leaves. So if you can see, no mold, happy. And when we put it on the base, it'll have like a rose next to it, and it'll either be like this, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. And if it doesn't work for this project, of course, we can always keep that for something else. Keep it in a bag. All right, let's see if this one comes off easily. It does. This one may have been, again, I can take off some of the edge. This one did get a nice shape from the table when it got pressed into it. A very cool pattern. And I mean, I can make it into something else that doesn't have to necessarily be a leaf, right? So that is another piece of clay that's been completed. And there were a couple more pieces that I wanted to look over. We had these that were already starting to get moldy spots on top. And I had gone ahead and I had hit it with some vinegar, and the sides are starting to get mold. So the sides are actually looking very nice. I don't know why the light looks like it's lower today. There we go. So I know I need to work on that angle. All right, so we have that one looks good. And this one, I mean, I see a couple of white spots on it, but it's nothing like it was yesterday. So, I mean, what worked yesterday was a little bit of vinegar. And so I'm going to put a little bit more vinegar on there, spray that down, put that back. Now it is staying a little moist, so I'm not expecting to take this off for quite some time. So I'll put that back in there. May as well spray the back of it. Place that back on top, keep that moist. And then we have this other one. See if I can just give it a good spritz. All right. And I believe I spritzed these already, but I mean, I don't think you can do too much, right? Bring this up. These may be goners. The ones that have like a lot of mold on them, just why keep that around? All right, so that was it for today. And so let's go on ahead and talk about the supplies that I'm going to be using tomorrow. Tomorrow, I am going to be bringing in a little bit of white glue. And that is so that I can use that on the ends of rolls of paper once I finish rolling them up. And this is what the rolls look like, just rolls of paper. And with those rolls of paper, what I do is, well, I make a whole bunch of them, and then I make baskets. I make a lot of baskets. I've made a lot of baskets of different sizes. We have some that are, get this, it can fit the bottom of the spray bottle. It can fit in little trinkets, hold, things, that measure up to like the size of my fist, medium size fist. So hand. I also, today I finished making it with the handle. And that's just one extra step up off of the baskets. The baskets are, I guess, the next level up off of the saucers. And saucers that I made were these. And I painted them with acrylic paints. And then I used like a kind of like a waxy paint for the rays. So and that's going to be tomorrow. So what you're going to need, if you're going to follow along with me, are going to be strips of paper, just maybe about 2 inches worth of 3 finger widths. Or, well, that's what I'm going to be working with, of length of paper for rolling them up. And then once they're rolled up, they turn into those rolls, and then I can take those rolls and turn them into baskets or anything else that I can think of with weaving. There's a lot of different types of baskets. There's even these like baskets that you can make with like a flat bottom and just kind of weave them. This requires, it required for me glue, a lot of glue on the bottom of that, but it's a different design than the ones that I have been. It's square. It's like my plastic scraps that I'm using for when I'm planning, when I'm doing those projects. So again, today we went over our clay and what's been happening, which is basically been the mold that's been developing on it. We were able to uncover these leaves, or who knows what. This one did come out very like a leaf, so this one may actually be a leaf. And these may be leaves as well. Not sure yet. Other than that, we talked about today being we got this Wednesday. So I really appreciate you stopping by, you for watching this video when you get a chance. And if you are on YouTube, please subscribe. If you are not on YouTube, please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, Upcycly. And if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, please follow. And I want to thank you very much for watching Time Together with Upcycling. Have a wonderful day.